And here we are at the first crossroad. Will Lisa choose to go to the left through the field, or will she choose the longer route? Oh, the longer route. Okay. She's watching. Last time there was a cat on the drive-in, sitting by the road, basically, just watching us. So yeah, let's now talk regarding the gymnasium, how classes were organized. So as I said before, we had 45 minutes long periods. Ok, Lizi, čakaj malo, počakamo. Počasi. Eko, hvala vam. Izreden prevoz. So ladies were kind enough to move aside for us. So yeah, let's say 45 minutes, between the classes you had 5 minutes to relocate between the classrooms. Sometimes it was pretty easy. You could went from you had the next class was in the neighboring classroom, or you could have to go 3 floors down and then to the gym, or even worse, from the gym 3 floors up, so it depended, well, it still depends on your locations, how long you need it. And then at the start of the session, teacher would take the attendance. Usually this was done through student on duty, so-called dežurni dijak. So we had several different categories of student on duty, which I will cover in the next video. So teacher took the attendance, and then we would start with let's say the real stuff. Quite a lot of teachers had oral exams, so usually it would mean that at the beginning of the hour, usually 1 to 2, most likely 2 students would be called in front of the whole class to the board, blackboard, whiteboard, whatever, and usually it would take 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes usually tops, for both exams to go through. And then you had 30 minutes of ex cathedra lessons. Majority of teaching was done in old format, old school, teacher being on the board, whiteboard, blackboard, or e-board, going through the lessons, and or dictating the lessons, and then you would have to take notes. Not a lot of Well, there were some teachers that utilize more proactive, student-oriented methods, you know, working in groups and so forth. Let's say self-teaching, you know, you were going by yourself through the notebooks, school books, and so forth. But you know, majority was ex cathedra. And yeah, then of course, in the beginning and the end of the sessions, school bell would ring, and then you had, you know, 5 minutes to relocate to the next classroom. So in my elementary school and my gymnasium, we had lockers, but they were not individual, but they were meant, you know, for multiple students. In elementary schools, you couldn't actually you couldn't actually lock, so they were, you know, without the locks. So basically everyone could get access to them. Priđi, Lizi. Ja, kje si se to zapletla? While at gymnasium, we had two types. You had like a locker room, so there was, or lock cubicle, I don't know, and they were meant for, I think, 2 or 3 classes. So each generation was divided among several classes. Oh, Lisa wants to go today here. Okay. We will go here. We will apparently not the long walk, because the long walk goes there. And in theory, you could lock this cubicle, but in reality, there were 60 to 90. I don't know. So let's say 60. That would be two full classes shared this cubicle, to leave your shoes and your jackets, overcoats, and your umbrellas there. So yeah, in schools, in elementary school and in gymnasium, you are not allowed to walk inside the school with your outdoor footwear, and you had to have slippers that you wore around the school. And then in the first, I think the first year we were using those locker cubicles, and then from second year on or third we were given the lockers, which were once again like 1 meter by like 50 centimeters by 2 meters big, and they were once again for several students. So basically each class was assigned several of these lockers, and they of course could be also locked, but in reality 5-6 people per locker, someone will leave the locker. opened. And we had a couple of cases, when stuff went missing. The most sought after item usually were umbrellas, because people didn't bring umbrellas with them when there was a forecast for rain in the afternoon, and when the rain started and we ended our day, they just took the umbrellas that they could find. And sometimes they would bring them back, sometimes they will not. They didn't. So yeah, that's it.